Hello everyone, welcome to another lecture with me in biology with Madhuparna. So today our lecture topic is feeder pathway for glycolysis. So before going to the whole pathway, like what are the different pathways for glycolysis, I would like to explain you about what it stands for feeder pathway. What is the meaning of feeder pathway? So feeder pathways are the path by which monosaccharide other than glucose can go to glycolysis via some reactions. So it can be polysaccharide, monosaccharide or disaccharide. So how other carbohydrates enter into the glycolysis, that we will see in this feeder pathways. So this is the overall diagram of feeder pathway. So first we will be breaking down, like I know it looks a little complicated. So first what we will do, we will break it down it in step by step, and then I will explain you so that it will be easy for you to understand and memorize it in an easy way. So let's start. The first pathway which we will be looking at, that is of endogenous glycogen. So how endogenous glycogen entered into the glycolysis, that we will see. So endogenous glycogen is converted into glucose 1-phosphate with the help of glycogen phosphorylase enzyme, and it uses one inorganic phosphate. As you can see from this glycogen, when it is converting into glucose 1-phosphate, it is having a phosphate in its C1 position. So this phosphate is contributed by that inorganic phosphate in this reaction. Next, this glucose 1-phosphate will be converted into glucose 6-phosphate with the help of the enzyme phosphoglucomutase. So now as it is glucose 6-phosphate, then further it will be converted into fructose 6-phosphate, and it will, at the end, it will produce pyruvate from that. So for endogenous glycogen, this is the pathway how it can enter the glycolysis. So next we will be looking at how disaccharide molecules enter into the glycolysis pathway. So there are several disaccharide molecules, but we will be talking about only 5 molecules, and those are dextrin, maltose, lactose, sucrose and trehalose. So before any disaccharide goes into the glycolysis pathway, it must be hydrolyzed into monosaccharides. So that disaccharide completely, it cannot be processed to go further in the glycolysis cycle. Instead of that, we need to hydrolyze that disaccharide into monosaccharide form, then it can be transferred to it can enter the glycolysis pathway. So first we will be looking at the dextrin. So dextrin consists of n number of glucose in it. So dextrin, if we hydrolyze dextrin with the help of the enzyme dextrinase, it will produce D-glucose, and that glucose can be converted into glucose 6-phosphate with the help of hexokinase enzyme, and further it can enter glycolysis, and it can produce the final product pyruvate. Our next disaccharide is maltose. So maltose is consisting of 2 glucose molecules. So upon hydrolysis of this maltose, with the help of the enzyme maltase, it will form 2 glucose molecules which can enter into the glycolysis pathway and produce pyruvate. Our third disaccharide is lactose. So lactose is consisting of 1 molecule of glucose and 1 molecule of galactose. It can be hydrolyzed with the help of the enzyme lactase into 1 glucose molecule and 1 galactose molecule. That glucose molecule can directly enter into the glycolytic pathway, but the problem is how we will convert this D-galactose into any kind of intermediate of our glycolytic pathway, like for it to enter the glycolytic pathway. So let's see. For D-galactose, first it will be converted into UDP galactose, and from there it will be converted into UDP glucose, and from there it will be converted into glucose 1-phosphate. And as we have seen in our first reaction of there also, that endogenous glycogen was converted into glucose 1-phosphate, where it was further converted into glucose 6-phosphate with the help of the enzyme phosphoglucomutase. So here also that phosphoglucose mutase enzyme will come into act, and it will convert this glucose 1-phosphate into glucose 6-phosphate. Our next disaccharide is sucrose. So sucrose consists of one D-fructose and one glucose. So for this sucrose hydrolysis, the enzyme sucrase will play a part, and it will convert this sucrose into one molecule of D-fructose and one molecule of D-glucose. That D-glucose will enter the glycolytic pathway and it will produce 2-pyruvate out of it. But the fructose can enter the glycolytic pathway in two ways. First, it can be converted into glucose 6-phosphate with the help of the enzyme hexokinase consuming an ATP, or it can be converted into fructose 1-phosphate with the help of the enzyme fructokinase. This step also ATP will be consumed. So basically this fructose 1-phosphate aldolase, it will convert this fructose 1-phosphate into products. One of the product is glyceraldehyde and second product is dihydroxyacetone phosphate. Dihydroxyacetone phosphate, we know it is present in our glycolytic pathway, so it can be converted into glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate with the help of the enzyme triose phosphate isomerase, which can then enter the glycolytic pathway and produce the pyruvate as a final product. But how this glyceraldehyde will be converted into any of the intermediates of the glycolytic pathway? Let's see. So glyceraldehyde can be converted into glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate with the help of the enzyme triose kinase, which will consume one more ATP. So this is the procedure how a fructose will be converted into any of the intermediate of the glycolytic pathway, which can further produce the pyruvate out of it. And our last disaccharide is trehalose. So trehalose also consists of 2 molecules of glucose. So if we hydrolyze trehalose, the enzyme trehalase will convert this trehalose into 2 molecules of glucose, which can further go into the glycolytic pathway in a usual way. So our next point is how monosaccharides. 5 we have already read. So other than that, some monosaccharides are there which can enter the glycolytic pathway in several points. What are those? So we will be talking here about 3 of the monosaccharides, which first one is fructose, second one is galactose, and third one is mannose. So we will see how fructose, galactose and mannose enter into the glycolytic pathway at several points. First, we will be looking at the fructose. I have already explained this reaction before, so you can have a look in that. Galactose I will be explaining you in a little bit because I haven't explained it in a detail. So I will be explaining this to you, and mannose also I will be explaining. So first, galactose will be converted into galactose 1-phosphate with the help of the enzyme galactokinase, and it will consume 1 ATP. Then this galactose 1-phosphate will be converted into UDP galactose with the help of UDP glucose galactose 1-phosphate urididyl transferase. So that is a big name. Next, UDP galactose will be converted into UDP glucose with the help of the enzyme UDP glucose epimerase. And finally, this UDP glucose can be converted into glucose 1-phosphate with the help of the same enzyme which converted the galactose 1-phosphate to UDP galactose, named as UDP glucose galactose 1-phosphate urididyl transferase. So now we are having glucose 1-phosphate with us. So this glucose 1-phosphate will be further converted into glucose 6-phosphate with the help of the enzyme phosphoglucomutase, and then it can enter the glycolytic pathway as usual. And our last monosaccharide is mannose. So mannose will be converted into mannose 6-phosphate with the help of the enzyme hexokinase, same as the first enzyme of the glycolytic pathway. So hexokinase here, it will also consume a ATP and it will produce mannose 6-phosphate. This mannose 6-phosphate will be further converted into fructose 6-phosphate with the help of the enzyme phosphomannose isomerase. So it will directly enter the glycolytic pathway. From this was the feeder pathway of glucose. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you liked my video. And if you like my channel, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like and share with your friends. Thank you. See you again in my next video.